So, two things. Why are you doing this podcast?
I do a podcast because...
And what is it?
My podcast is about anything and everything.
Okay.
I do a podcast because, just like now, you know somebody who does a podcast.
All right.
So if you want to be part of a podcast, you can always say, hey, Alan, I want to be part of a podcast. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to be super interesting. You don't have to be anything but willing to talk about whatever you want to talk about comfortably. And there is no prerequisite or anything else. Mm-hmm. I am just somebody you know now that has a podcast, and if you want to bare your soul or whatever, I'm here. That's all. It's just very simple.
Everything, everywhere, all the time. But I know you came here to interview us.
No, hey man, like I said, it's I want you to be comfortable. You know, sometimes it takes people a moment to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. But it's the thing is, a lot of people don't. I'm learning. I started knowing about furries last year when I was driving Uber for the first time. I passed by. I talked to one guy who was in here because the only thing I knew about anybody in the costume was a sexual role play. And so talking to him, I learned that it's not just about sexual role play. There are a whole bunch of different levels, different people, different personas and everything else. And it's just another evolution of a community like Trekkies or anything else. And so I'm
really glad that you got that, actually, because my understanding is that furries kind of were born of Star Trek and the sci-fi community. Historically speaking, originally is my understanding.
Okay.
That could be wrong, but that is my understanding.
I appreciate you being honest about what you said about like your first impression.
Oh yes, I mean that's the only thing I would know.
One of my own personal friends, he joked to me, made a disparaging remark about furries, and it was before this convention happened in Addison. And he later on, working at one of the local restaurants, ran into the furries during the convention, and one of them hung out with the waitress crew at the time, and they just sat at the bar and were talking, and he made a impactful connection with somebody there who was really nice, and the guy was really humble, and was saying I know some people think we're weird. I love coming to these cons, and I meet so many new friends. And after that, he had a completely different experience, just like you. And it's just, like you said, it's a community. You can come together, meet people like a fandom, and just meet a lot of friends that you otherwise would not have had before. So,
like-minded people, like-minded ideas.
Yeah.
Now, what is your? Let me see. What is your? I learned this new word today. I didn't know. I was talking to the last guy, and I finally caught it in the end. What's your fursona?
Okay. You want to go first, or?
And you can say,
sure.
Like I said, you can tell as much as you want about yourself, or as little. Where you're from, name, just whatever though. It's like I said. This is about people being able to look at this. As if my podcast ever becomes any kind of big or mainstream. Somebody mainstream will look at it and see see this on here and wonder what in the heck is on my screen, and then when they look at it, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I'm learning something." So, and that's what this is about. Yeah, see, and I will honestly say that I've never really seen the podcast. I've seen snippets, but I've never watched the podcast because I really don't want to be influenced by anything. It's just just about me and whoever. So go for it. I'm sorry.
Sure. So. I guess my furry name is Logan. Logan to me, I'll tell you what Logan is. Logan is a Catahoula mutt. So
Catahoula mutt.
Sure, a lot of people have never heard of what a Catahoula is, which is, I think they were originally bred closer to the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century. I'm sorry, 1900s. Essentially, Catahoulas are a breed from Louisiana, which were bred to hunt pigs, as well as herd livestock. So Logan being a Catahoula mutt I have not defined really what the mutt part is, but Catahoula dog, whatever. That's just what he is. I don't know that I would really say why. Just kind of felt interesting to me, just a unique thing. Nobody's ever heard of it. As far as what is Logan to me? Logan to me does not really, it's not like an alternate persona really. It's just like, again, to
more
me,
direct reflection.
It's yeah, like his personality is a direct reflection of me. Like maybe there's some sort of fantastical story parts to it that are things that I've made up, I guess you could say, just some sort of backstory. But again, to me, like he's literally just a character. I would say if he had to represent anything, it's just the furry version of myself. Literally just an alternate version of me that happens to be a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what he means to me.
My character is Steel from the movie Balto.
Okay.
He's the villain. So when I've watched a couple of furry interviews, and a lot of people express their character as the better version of themselves, a way of expressing themselves. This is the terrible side of me. I get to be a bad guy at a con, and people love me for it. It's a lot of fun. I like expressing the character and bringing it to life.
You're not going to shred my seats, are you?
Not going to what?
Shred my seats, are you?
Depends if you're nice to me.
I will be nice.
Only if you make me popular.
Now, are you usually shy?
Yeah, outside of it, like I don't like doing the character outside of it. I like when the magic is on, when the suit is on. It feels a lot more authentic, and it's easier to act the character. When I first put on the fursuit, I was kind of like, I don't know. I was looking at myself wearing paws, and it's like, this seems kind of weird. And I saw myself, my full self in the mirror, animated, and it was like, it just looked so real all of a sudden. And it was so easy to be in the mindset and act the character when I saw that. It came to life for me. And then like other people's reactions, they just love to see me. They love it when I play the part, and it's I don't know. It's just enjoyable. I like doing it.
Like what kind of things do you do?
Oh, like people like want pictures, and I'm like, yeah, sure, for $5. I'm kind of an egotistical character, very prideful, and can get away with a lot. Yeah, that's just kind of how it goes. I will tease people, or they say they like me, and it's like, yeah, me too.
I found a giant birthday hat on the ground earlier, and I just stuck it on his head. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh my God, is it your birthday?" And to which his response would be, "No, I'm just celebrating me."
Yeah,
that's good. That's nice. So how long you been doing it, each of you?
I've known about the fandom since like 2003, like the online presence. I didn't go to a con till about 2010, and I didn't get the suit until about 2014 or 2015.
It's kind of a hard thing to determine when I could really say the switch over happened, when I consider myself a furry. Well, I can tell you I didn't consider myself a furry until well into the 2010s, but I will say that I joined Fur Affinity, which is like the furry website that a lot of furries use. It's like the big one, whatever. Anyways, I joined Fur Affinity in like 2006. It's been a long time. As far as Logan, so I created him in 2018 or 2019, something like that. And then I had a character before that was generated probably in 2007 or 8. So it's been a long time.
Now, I heard the suits are expensive. Mm-hmm. If you can, about how much, you don't have to give an exact price, about how much are your suits?
So mine, I'm trying to remember, I think like right around 3,000.
I've heard that number.
Yeah.
Mine was, there was a friend of mine that was a fursuit maker, and put steel up for auction. I got them for about 3,500 or 700.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, a lot of our other suits went for higher. I got really lucky. So.
All right, so there's something you got to understand. The fursuit market right now is like the housing market. It's out of control. You're seeing fursuits go for like 15 grand, and it's ridiculous.
Jeez.
And
Yeah,
this
those
is
are the
not
ones that get,
even like
really detailed.
It makes me want it. See, it makes me, because I'm that guy that looks at. That's why you see all of this stuff. I'm that guy that looks at something. I'm like, what? I wonder if I can do.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and that's like a good example of like kind of how the furry fandom is similar, because it's like a presentation of yourself, and like, you know, just how you do a podcast and you present it in a certain way. That's what everybody here is doing in their own way, however they like it. Some do it to meet friends. Some are just putting on a good performance. It's different for everybody, just like their podcast.
Now, do you send? Now, did you guys either of you send specs of what you wanted, or you just saw something and that's what you, I guess, molded into yourself as far as your outfits? Can't think of what to call them.
Well,
Yeah, fursuits. Yeah.
Yeah, fursuits.
I mean, for me, it's so Logan is my character, so I custom ordered him.
Okay, so you can
from
custom
an
order.
artist,
Oh, sweet.
and I'll let him tell his part of that.
Yeah, since mine was from a movie and I had used the character online before, I have a long history of working with huskies and doing dog rescue.
Okay.
So the sled dog character Steel was like top of my list favorite characters in movies. And as far as like a furry character would go. And when I saw the auction, I was like, this is perfect. I have to have this. Like, I'm not worried what the cost is.
A little bit.
Yes. What, each of you, leave the world or whoever may be listening or watching with something that you would like to maybe put out about furries, or just anything, just some kind of words of wisdom or something that you may want them to know.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, I want to be clear. I don't speak for furries. I speak for myself.
Yes.
I think the only advice that I could ever give everyone is be excellent to each other. I will say, I have a question for you once this is done.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you're fine.
I'll let him go.
I kind of see furry as just one of many different tribes in our United States of America. We're all kind of looking for a community and people to connect with, and we just like doing it as animals.
All right. So my question for you.
Yes, sir. And you can be candid as you want.
What do you know about furries, and what is your impression of furries?
I accept people for who they are.
Okay.
If my thing is, if you steal, if you're a crook, that doesn't mean I won't hang around you. That just means I'll watch my things when I'm around you.
Right.
If you're a liar, I'll just fact check you. That doesn't mean I will not hang around you or anything else. Whoever you are is who you are. I accept that. I love it. I'll embrace it. And so when it comes to furries, you guys are just people, man. You guys are. I've met quite a few of you. You are just people, and everybody has been extremely nice. So they're just a bunch of nice people that are wearing furry outfits. That's my impression. I mean, it's I don't have anything negative to say about it. For me, there's nothing negative to say about it. You're just a group of people, like I say, like a Trekkie or anyone. Anyone that loves whatever they're into. My hobby is drag racing. My hobby is nerddom. I mean, I am a big nerd. And people will look at me odd because I have family members that look at me like, what is wrong with you, man? But it is just who I am.
Pushing my buttons, man. I like car racing and I like computer stuff. So.
Yeah, yes.
About to have to get out of here before we're talking for 3 hours. I appreciate that. There's so many car people. I 100%
agree with that.
There's so many car furries. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys here.
Yeah.
My podcast is called Knowing You a Podcast. That's for my book. But he just put Knowing You and then just put a podcast. It's on YouTube, Spotify, and all of the regulars. Apple Podcasts and everything else. But of course, this will be visual, and I will make sure that people will see it. So hopefully they'll look at it and want to listen to it and try to learn about just a different community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a different community of nice people that, I mean, last year I passed by a few times, but this year I parked my van, I went inside, and I was welcomed inside. That's an openness that, that anybody can come down here and just sit back in a corner and just watch what's going on.
Yeah.
The hugging, the friendliness, I come from a community of, I was always in customer service, so I worked in restaurants. And in restaurants, you hug when you meet each other, when you see each other friends. Yeah. But in corporate world, you can't hug. You can't do any of those things because you'll get sued by each other or somebody else.
Right.
And so being able to communicate and see that in this community is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
honestly, that's sometimes one of the best experiences is having those funny interactions with outside groups, and it's a positive experience for everybody. So
yeah, so like I say, it's lovely for me.
Like being able to connect with other people and share with each other. So
because you may not be able to see, I'm extremely shy. It's hard for me to approach. I've tried to approach a few people and then I just turn away because I don't want to bother people. I don't want to get in their way.
Man, I feel that.
Yeah, so because even when I walked up to you guys, I was extremely nervous. And so I was just like, okay, go for it, Alan.
That's one thing I didn't really say earlier, but for me, being in the suit opens me up a lot. It's kind of a headspace thing. I guess there's kind of an element of if someone knows who I am and they react poorly, then there's a whole rabbit hole of anxieties that go down there. But
yeah, I get that too. Like,
I hear nervousness in his voice sometimes.
I would otherwise be concerned about people reading my expression, and I like that my character is already in a positive state, and I don't have to worry too much about my performance because they usually interact in a good way with the character.
Right.
And that's something that's nice about it. It's easy to stay in that headspace and not become self-conscious when you have,
for
this kind of art.
Your expressions are just, they're inside and you don't have to work. Yeah. So but I appreciate you both. Like I said, I'll try to have this out soon. Next to it. If you don't see it, don't hear from it or wherever else, feel free, because I'm forgetful and everything else. I got a lot of stuff going on. You can type, go to YouTube. Hey, Alan, I don't see our first stuff. And I don't have a problem with that because I know how I am. Push me. Every day, Alan, I still don't see it. What you doing, man?
You gotta get that shit out in the next couple days.
Yes.
I'm about to fly home. What am I going to be doing for 4 hours?
Yes, do it. Go. Thank you. I will try to.
I'd really love to see other people interviews too.
Well, it's only 3 so far, so I'm hoping that hopefully I can get other people in.
So I do want to make this comment, and this can be on or off record, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's furries, historically speaking, have been very vilified by media. I'm not saying that's your thing, but
I can see that.
I mean, shit. Even now, there's this whole thing going through state and local governments where furries are the villain for some stupid fucking reason. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. But the point is, furries have been vilified a lot in popular culture for who knows. And anyways, the reason I bring this up is I think that you might get more positive response if you walk up to folks and say, hey, what does this mean to you?
Okay.
Not what does this mean? What is this?
Yeah.
What is this to you? Because I guarantee you, especially just those last 2 words, to you, will get so many more interesting and unique responses, and just generally speaking, more responses at all.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because a lot of furries,
because I know you can be apprehensive because you don't want people to put you out there in a bad light.
It's also I do not speak for anyone else at this convention.
Oh no, you're good.
I mean, he's a really good friend to me. and like what it means to him is very different to what it means for me. And you know, I can only imagine what it means to everyone else that's here. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. I appreciate you both. Are you able? Do I need to give you a card of your own? There you go.
I'd love to have one.
There you are.
That's my.
Well, again, I appreciate you both. I will try to get this out ASAP if I can go home to. Let's see. Well, I probably won't get home till like 3 or 4 in the morning. Maybe I'll try by Monday at the least. Yeah. Because Monday is probably take off Monday.
Cool.
So I'll try to work on it then. But all right. Thanks again, guys. Thank you very much. And if you guys see it around or you see anybody, tell them, get your phone. Yeah, if you see anybody that, if they tell them that they see the van, feel free to stop me and talk to me.
Cool. All right, man.
You're Halo.
Thanks.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys for real.